Hello, this is part of my ongoing series on little-known unsolved cases in Western states, primarily California, from the 1960s and 70s. If you are interested, the previous post was on the murder of Kurt Kichinger. If you have any questions, comments, or polite feedback regarding these posts, please let me know. Note, the title contains a typo. It should say 1976, not 1970. Background: Patricia Ann Tigard was born in Sacramento, CA on February 15, 1958 to parents Mary Eleanor Bergman, née Cannon, and Beverly Finley Tigard. It was both of the parents' second marriages. Eleanor, who went by her middle name, and Beverly separated by 1961, when Patricia was 3 years old. That same year, Beverly married a woman named Virginia Piron/Garcia. He also possibly remarried in 1968, then yet again to a woman named Bertie Fry in 1975. In October 1970, Patricia's mother Eleanor died in a car crash in Medford, Jackson County, OR. After her mother's death, Patricia, 12, moved in with her maternal grandfather, William Cannon, in Klamath, Norte County, CA. Patricia, who also went by the name Patti, eventually attended Del Norte High School in Crescent City, Del Norte County, before reportedly transferring to the American Legion High School in Sacramento in 1975. She seems to have eventually returned to Del Norte County and has been listed among deceased members of the Del Norte HS class of 77. On May 1, 1976, Patti gave birth to a son named Jesse in Del Norte County, CA, when she was 18 years old. Further information regarding Jesse's birth, including the identity of his father, could not be found. Disappearance: Patti was last seen alive on Friday, October 1, 1976. At about noon that day, she was seen in front of the PARGAS office and the Totem Motel, located on Highway 101 North in Crescent City, Del Norte County. She is believed to have been hitchhiking. Newspapers described her as living in either Fort Dick, Del Norte County, or the Crescent City area at the time. Another newspaper stated that sheriff's officers placed Patti in Gasquet, but there the trail becomes unclear. The girl was also seen hitchhiking in the Crescent City area. Patti was wearing a hooded maroon sweater, blue short-sleeve pullover blouse, blue corduroy pants, and a pair of black sandals when she disappeared. She was described as being an 18-year-old white woman who was 54 tall and 120 pounds, with brown eyes and long, straight brown hair that was parted in the center. I could not find information on who reported her missing or when. Discovery: On the afternoon of Tuesday, October 12, 1976, construction workers employed by Caltrans, California Department of Transportation, were working in a construction zone in Del Norte County when they discovered human remains. The body, which was that of a young woman, was found in some heavy brush on the side of US 199, approximately 4 miles east of Gasquet. The body was initially unidentified and was described as being either badly or semi-decomposed at the time of discovery. An autopsy was performed on October 13th. The results weren't made public until late December of 1976. Patti's cause of death is officially undetermined, though she is believed to have been murdered. 2 days after the autopsy was performed, on Oct. 15, 1976, the body was identified through dental charts as being that of Patti Tigard. Patti's clothing was found at the scene. However, none of the sources explicitly state whether she was clothed or if instead the clothing was nearby when she was found. The only information regarding any evidence is from an article published in the Del Norte Triplicate on Deck 19, 1976, which stated that blood stains were found on Patti's clothing. By about October 22, 1976, the Del Norte County Sheriff's Department HODI conducted an extensive investigation, and to date HODI, interrogated approximately 40 persons in an attempt to shed some light on the girl's death. Despite this, the case very quickly grew cold. According to the Norte County sheriff at the time, Tom Laurie, his officers, received little cooperation from many of the Norte girl Patti's friends. Patti seems to have been cremated, with a memorial taking place on October 20, 1976. I could not find who raised Patti's son Jesse after her death. It seems that Patti's murder has gone unsolved. In early May 2026, I submitted a public records request to the Norte County Sheriff's Office to try to obtain any available files related to the case. On May 13, 2026, I was notified that my request was denied and closed because the DNCSO does not have records that far back. While the Norte County Coroner's Office is a branch of the DNCSO, I plan to file another public records request to that agency in hopes that the coroner's report has been maintained. I also plan to reach out to the DNCSO to inquire about the status of Patti's case, given that they do not have any records from 1976. Speculation. At the time of initial reporting, the press speculated that Patti's death could have been related to those of Janet Bowman, Corinne Fisher, Vicki Schneider, and Sherry Smith, aka the Humboldt Four, who were found murdered in neighboring Humboldt County from 1975-1976. However, whether this is still believed by law enforcement is unknown. According to Tom Darby, a blogger who claims to have known Patti growing up, shortly after the memorial on Oct. 20, a rumor started circulating that she had been manually strangulated sick. I couldn't find anyone willing to confirm or deny this bit of speculation. Patti is a semi-distant cousin of another murdered young woman, Tamara Lee Tigard aka Lime Lady. Tamara was found murdered in Oklahoma in April 1980 and went unidentified until January 2020. Patti's father and Tamara's grandfather are first cousins, i.e., Patti's paternal great-grandfather is Tamara's paternal great-great-grandfather. On October 6, 2019, the Lost Girls blog posted an article about Tamara Tigard. On April 16, 2021, Tom Darby commented on the Lost Girls blog article. He stated the following: "I am researching this case as I know Tamara's second cousin. Oddly, her cousin and I have been researching another Tigard cold case. In 1976, Patricia Ann Tigard was found murdered along HWI 199. I went to school with Patti, and while I'm certain I know who her murderer is, I am not allowed to say legally." The following day, Tom posted the following about Patti on his own blog. Patricia Ann Tigard, a woman I grew up with and who was found murdered in October 1976 and left like so much trash near the Smith River along HWI 199 between Crescent City and Hiauchi, California. Her murder remains unsolved because her killer is widely believed to be already dead. The validity of Tom's claims is unknown, as they seem to be based on rumors and speculation. I found out about Patricia's case from a website dedicated to the amateur podcast Ghosts of the Lost Coast, which is about the possible crimes of suspected serial killer John Annibal. The website also features the cases of Susan Laurie Dye, Durrell Cohen, Debbie Sloan, Andrea Ladder Rout, and the Humboldt Four, Janet Bowman, Corinne Fisher, Vicki Schneider, and Sherry Smith. Of all of the aforementioned murders, John Annibal has only been convicted of that of Debbie Sloan and officially named as a suspect in those of Andrea Ladder Rout and Sherry Lynn Smith. It should be noted that the website, created by a man named Glenn Webster, gets some basic things wrong about the cases featured on it. For example, Andrea Ladder Rout's surname is misspelled as de la Rout, and a photo of Debbie Sloan's daughter Rachel, who was also murdered in a separate, yet still unsolved, incident, is used in place of a photo of Debbie. Furthermore, other than the short summaries of each case on the main page, the site doesn't actually host any articles, links to sources, audio files, or ways to listen to the podcast. I am not using the website as a source for any of these cases. I am simply linking it because it is how I found out about Patti's murder. Anyone with information in Patti's case is urged to please contact the Norte County Sheriff's Office by calling 707-460-440-191 or submitting a tip online. Any little piece of information is. Drop your verdict in the comments. Wait, what?